Buenos dias, amigos. You catch us here on day 4 of our Mardi Himal trek. We finished the last video quite abruptly because we were very, very tired when we reached low camp. I don't know whether it was just the amount of effort we put in or that combined with the altitude, but we were very tired. We're going to make our way to high camp. Should be around 2.5 hours here from low camp, and then hopefully the next morning make a trip up to the high point.
And today is a very special day.
Oh yeah.
Because it's my birthday.
How old are you turning?
I'm turning 30 years old. I am here in the Himalayas, in the middle of nowhere, without internet, so not being able to speak with my family or my friends. That's amazing. I'm really isolated.
Happy birthday to Siamara. Now we're going to be making sure that we catch a lot more breaks today. We've kind of said that every day and we've slightly adhered to it. But today, again, we're going to an elevation that we've never been, as we hadn't been yesterday. So we're going to be quite careful. There are stories, like I've said in previous videos, of people getting sick here. There's a lot of helicopters going past, and apparently it's because the trekkers got lost. They don't know where they are, so that kind of fits in line with the stories that we'd been told about people going missing. So you've got to be very careful where you're standing, where you're walking, and with these things like dehydration and altitude. Now, as for where we stayed last night, low camp, it was nice, particularly the dining and communal area. Really nice fire, nice people to chat to. Vincent, our Irish mate that we were talking with, really nice guy. It was funny though, because we were telling him that when we were in forest camp, we had some visitors during the night. We didn't see them, but we heard them. And he met us in the breakfast hall this morning, and he said, didn't sleep very well. Got to sleep, woke up with a mouse staring at him right in the eyes on his bed. And he basically said every couple of hours his bed was being swarmed by mice. So we were fortunate enough to not have that, but we were also forward enough thinking to block the bottom of the door where we had the gap. So we didn't have any creepy crawlies or any visitors during the night, did we?
We didn't.
At least none that we knew of anyway. There's a famous phrase in Nepal, particularly in the trekking communities, and it's dal bhat power, 24 hour. Dal bhat being one of the meals that you can eat, made primarily lentils, rice, a few vegetables, things like that. And when you get it, you get top-ups, so if you eat it all and you're still hungry, they'll fill you up again. And I think the phrase is meant to mean, like, you know, you can keep going on dal bhat, gives you the energy. But what I'm realizing it really means, dal bhat power is flatulence. I'm walking behind a completely stinky monster right now.
Excuse me.
Every few minutes I'll walk into a patch of air and it'll be
Excuse me.
dal bhat power, Siamara's bum.
The only person who stinks in here is you. Like, seriously. You are completely in a silent room, and then you suddenly hear like somebody shooting a gun. It's like, because he has a problem in his belly, and he's saying that it's the altitude, but I don't think that that's real, because he's always like that, so he has a problem with his bum.
Well, if we were an orchestra, I would be the trumpet. Siamara would be the stinky trombone.
So we are in the middle, and then we are 3,300 meters of altitude. We are very, very hard.
This village, we did hear about this village. It's slap bang in the middle between low camp and high camp. We just didn't have the energy to make it up yesterday. So
It was only
let's
30 minutes.
have a little walk through, and you'll be able to see if there's anything worthwhile staying here for, or whether you should just stick at low camp and then make your way up to high camp. Let's get around this corner and see what we're dealing with.
Smells really good for me.
Smells like poo, doesn't it? See Mara's bum again. Wow.
This is amazing.
Namaste. Oh, and this one here is, oh, you got the Fishtail Mountain. Got the mountains in the distance.
Getting close, huh?
Wow.
This is beautiful.
Right now you're in a region of the highest mountains in the world. And this particular mountain has never been officially summited. Incredible, what a view.
Our first friend told us the one New Zealand guy climbed it illegally. So
Yeah.
it's been climbed, but
Supposedly.
you can't do
Yeah,
it.
you don't get a permit. The government doesn't give permits for it. What a view. Namaste.
This is one of the most beautiful views ever.
Incredible views. Just immense. We were flacking a little bit. We were struggling catching our breath at that point, and we were thinking, God, I think the words that came out of Siamara's mouth were, I don't want to do a trek ever again. And then you get to the here and it just gives you that boost of power, that boost of energy, you know, that it just, I don't think I can describe it well enough. Just the feeling it gives you. You know, we've mentioned in previous videos when we climbed up to Sarankot, trekked, walked up to Sarankot, when you see the mountains very far in the distance and you're like, wow, like to see the power of nature like that, but to be here in the Himalayas, seeing it on your doorstep, it's, words don't do it. You truly understand why people get addicted to this, why people love mountaineering and reaching the summit of these mountains and putting their bodies through that pain, because it just gives you a rush that nothing else can compare to. It's so beautiful. That was my bum if you heard it. Namaste. We're embarking now on higher altitude. I say this every video. I say we're getting higher. But seriously now, you feel it. I mean, just look at this view. I love the way that the shades change as they go further into the distance. And you see that in some areas we're above the clouds, and you even see the sky change. It's really beautiful as well when the sun starts to come down and you get this like orange pink tint on the mountains. Beautiful. But we're into an area now which is much more open. You see that the forest is below us, and so you get an appreciation of the views. You've got that contrast between the land and the sky and the mountain. You know, if you were an artist and you were taking your palette and you were mixing colours and you were saying, give me something that's very complementary, you know, your teal and orange, those kind of colours which are opposite, but just they're so opposite that they attract, this would be it. Just look, beautiful. Oh, she's gonna sneeze. Birthday sneeze.
Just make it.
And you
Made
lost
it go. Made me distraught. Just
Incredible. We're at the point now where the trees stop growing. You can see these increments as you walk up the mountains, basically the dead zone, and then obviously you see the line where the snow starts. Same over here with the Annapurna as well. So this is the moment where we know you're kind of getting into that territory of altitude around 3,800 meters or so, where altitude sickness can become a real thing. I think we'll be fine on this trek, if I'm honest. We've gone nice and slow. We're both fit and able, but altitude sickness can strike anyone at any time. It's very random. So you just got to be careful, take your time, and listen to your body. Yeah, you see, we're fairly high, but you know, we're nothing compared to what it would be like to be on top of these peaks. This up here is over 8,000 meters, so more than double where we currently are. I'm hoping hoping that this is high camp, but I have a feeling it could be one of those over in the distance. No, I don't think it is either. We've not seen any signs for it, have we? A pool house? Yeah, let's go play some pool. Let's do it. Let's go play some pool on top of a mountain. We've got one, it's covered. We've got a fully loaded bar, but it's covered, so.
It says in here that you want to charge your phone of any electronics, you need to pay 200 rupees.
And even then it might not charge properly.
Yeah, probably not.
Should we carry on?
Let's carry on. Bye-bye.
Come across here what looks like their little mini quarry, and you see the way they cut the stone. That is extremely heavy, so I must cut it out of the rock here. This is what you use for the stairs, for the buildings. How on earth they move it, I don't know, because like I say, it's very heavy. I know they've got the animals and things, but you've got to get it onto the animal to begin with. When you see these people, they're very slight, quite small, and I think they're perfectly formed physiologically for the mountains. But you would never look at them and think that they were bodybuilders or strong men. But looks can be deceiving. They must be very, very strong. We were just saying, here you see these big pieces of metal. How you maneuver that up here in the mountains, through the trees, it blows the mind, it really does. You know, on one aspect you've got the nature and these huge mountains, and you feel the power of the earth, and then on the other side you've got these buildings right up here, and they're bringing supplies, they're living here, cooking here. You know, we're struggling just to get ourselves up here. I find it amazing that they managed to bring everything they need here. One wrong move, you see, you're done. Be very careful, very careful. We've now crossed a few more trekkers who've told us that we're about 30 minutes from high point, or high camp, shall I say. We've got this path here, but we're choosing to follow this one because, as you see, you can very easily have an accident there. So, the views, I keep saying it, beautiful. They're getting more astounding, but for the moment, we're going to hang tight, and you're going to join us again in a moment when we make it to high camp, because I'm building it, and I don't want to progressively show you the views. Let's just see what they're like at high camp, and let's see if the view from Heaven's View, as we've just been recommended, is all worth the crack. Let's go. We've made it to high camp. Barely alive. That last stretch was really hard. A lot of stairs. Trying to go very slow, but everything feels in slow motion, you know. You kind of go in half the speed that you usually would, if that, you know. So tough going, but we've made it, and now we just need to find the tea house that we keep getting recommended, called Heaven View. So let's see if we can spot it. Hopefully this is our home for the day, so we can acclimatise. It's been recommended. It does look like they have some rooms available, so let's check it out. This is our room. I don't know who this is in here.
I come include with the bedroom.
You'll find that up here the prices look a little bit more expensive naturally. You know, we are very, very high, very isolated. So how much was this room?
It was 500 per night, and then we
No, it wasn't.
How much was it then?
This is where the English troubles come in.
He said
It was 500 per person per night.
Okay.
So it's a 4-bedroom room. It's 500 per person. Typically that would mean 500 per bed. In this case, he's given us the room for 500 each, with the caveat that if someone comes along and needs a room, that we're to help them. So is that good value or not? I'm suspecting that it's probably not. I'm suspecting that some of the other places will be cheaper, but it's been recommended. We only really need to do one night here. We can do the high view tomorrow and then immediately make our way down, depending on how we feel. So let's go and get some food. We're hungry.
Super hungry. We are having some troubles with the locker in our room. So that's not a good sign, and it's not a good start. All right, he got it.
But if you look at this, right? So we lock the door. See, he's locked, yeah? Unless... yeah, that's not coming out. It come out a minute ago. Mustn't be as strong as I think. This is us. This is our dining hall. These are the kind of views we're looking at. Just ordered some dal bhat, a vegetable curry, and a big pot of tea.
Can't wait for it because I'm feeling a little bit chilly now. So
You feeling chilly?
I think that I'm going to go to the bedroom. I want to change this.
How's you feeling cold? Here's me in my vest and my shorts. I haven't changed my clothes for 4 days.
That's a good point to highlight. I have changed my leggings, my underwears, and then my tops almost every day, so they're not as dirty as mine is.
So why are you still stinky?
I am not. They smell nice.
So that's up for debate. Tired now. Come check this. Are you ready? Oh, pardon me. What a view, eh? Right above the clouds. I think based on that we walked up at the right moment. It shows you how high we are anyway. Using my battery wisely.
Aye.
Did you bring the phone out with you? Did you bring the phone out with you?
The phone now?
The phone.
Yes, I brought
El
it.
teléfono.
Sí, lo traje.
Sí.
It's with me. Hola.
Beautiful views. What a place to spend your birthday, eh?
I know. What a beautiful place we are in. Heaven. Right now we are in heaven. We are floating on top of the clouds.
It's a little chilly now, so as you see, I've put some extra layers on. I've put some pants on. Don't worry, Mum, I'm not dying. But yeah, now we've got a beautiful sunset. And we're going to leave it here because the battery is about to die. But we shall see you tomorrow for what's going to be a difficult day. We're going to hike up to the viewpoint, which is another increase of 700 meters. So it's going to be tiring, it's going to be cold. We're going to see what time we want to do it. People are talking about 4 a.m. I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, see you tomorrow.